Welcome, this is TrinityGaiaOracle. In this series, we will be taking a journey through each card in the Divine Masculine Healing Oracle deck by Christabel Jessica, and the artwork is by Cecilia G.F. Today, we will be taking a deeper look into Aizen Mayu. I will begin by reading from the guidebook, and then I will do an intuitive channeled reading to follow, getting any synchronicities for those that will be tuning in over the lifetime of this reading, as this is timeless. Become a master at expressing your anger via healthy outlets. Repressing anger can lead to reactive behavior. Practice responding rather than reacting. Aizen Mayu has been a deity within the Japanese pantheon since the 13th century. In Japanese Buddhist mythology, he is known as one of the wisdom kings, a deity characterized by wrath and protection. As the wisdom king of passion, Aizen Mayu embodies rage. Often depicted with wild hair sticking up in every which way, fiery red skin, and a collection of weapons at hand, he is a fearsome sight to behold. He is an example of the inhibition of a person's true nature, the psyche imbued with anger. He is a symbol of the Buddhist belief that violent and lustful energies can be transformed into enlightenment. Besides his correlation with rage, he is also acknowledged as an exceptionally compassionate God who helps people overcome difficulties along their journey. Aizen Mayu's message. The stigma surrounding anger has led to repression and an attempt to turn away from and deny the emotion at all costs. Anger itself is not dangerous. The danger is in the actions unleashed by someone who does not hold a healthy relationship with their anger. Anger itself is a valuable guidance system that is a fundamental part of the human build. Pretending it does not exist within you can lead to it having a hold over you and becoming a volcanic-like eruption. Anger is a primary emotion, directing you to an area that requires attention, protection, or validation. It can also present as a secondary emotion, masking grief, sadness, disappointment, shame, or embarrassment. Feeling fury can seem less vulnerable, especially for masculine energy, which has been shunned from crying. Other emotions can be too painful or seem unsafe in a society that dismisses softness. Sometimes when someone is embarrassed, sad, or disappointed, they don't even realize it. This is when anger flares up as a secondary response. The longer this continues, the risk of habitual anger developing occurs. When repressed emotion lies under the surface, any minor inconvenience can become the straw that breaks the camel's back. Habitual anger is akin to a pot constantly boiling over. It needs to be emptied to cease the cycle. Shadow work and developing emotional intelligence, skill, and regulation can assist in uncovering the mask of anger. Changing your perspective surrounding the things that make you angry will help in the long run. However, any anger that already exists must now be acknowledged and felt. Anger cannot be let go of. It is released through movement. First, work on shifting your perspective around anger. Admit the emotion is there and permit yourself to feel it. Come up with a list of go-to methods that work for you, such as going to a rage room, running and allowing your stomping feet to process the fiery inferno within, or beating your pillow onto your bed. There is no way out but through, and you deserve the calm state the releasing of pent-up emotion brings. There is so much passion in this image, and this image here, this artwork, you can dive into this and relate to it no matter where you are, no matter what you're faced with right now that seeks to block your path, that seeks to get through you to that you are protecting, to that you love. This individual that you see here, the cloud, symbolizes the storm of the anger within them. The weapons, the 2 arrows, and what looks like a torch, but if you notice, it's not burning the tree. So that flame only burns what the individual chooses it to burn. What Eisenmeyer chooses that fire to burn will burn. Will. Fire is the symbol of will. What he wills to burn will burn. Will change, transmute. Transmute is fancy for take one thing and you make a little bit of adjustments here and it becomes something else. Or it's an upgrade. It's a little bit better. It's a little bit this more than that. Now, it's just choosing to create the change that you desire and doing so. Not passively sitting back, actually creating that change. And you see that symbol in the background, that gateway. That is an honoring of all of the ancestors that came before you, that brought you to this moment in time. All of that wisdom is there. If you choose to open to that, you have that to tap into, to access, to know. This is the story of my mother, my father. This is the story of my grandmothers, my grandfathers. This is the story of my ancestors. You have that to look back to and know that you're not standing alone. All of that wisdom was passed to you. Eisenmeyer is a king of wisdom. He's one of the wisdom kings. This can speak to actual combat, that hyper-focusing, that movement from anger that undermines you. When you add love to that, you go from the harder emotion to the softer emotion, sharpening that harder emotion, turning it into rage. It's no longer just anger, it's now rage, but it's sharp, it's focused. You could see it in every aspect of him. Regardless of the chaos of the storm going on within him, he is collected, he is focused, and he only chooses to change or burn that he desires to, that he chooses to. Completely focused. And it can range from that level of intensity to there's something maybe that you're battling, something that you're dealing with every day, and it wears on you, and it's infuriating, and it's frustrating, and you feel you can't change it. You can change it by how you choose to relate to it. And maybe the reason you desire to change it is because those around you know that you anger easily, that you snap over little things. Maybe not at anyone, but you snap at that little thing, inanimate object that irritated you because it didn't quite move the way you wanted it to or do what you wanted it to. You snap at that, but that still affects the people around you. And you don't like that, so it makes you even more angry. To change how you relate to the actual anger aspect. Because that little inanimate object, it's not really what has you angry. What is causing you to feel angry, trapped in this constant state with no way out? How can you change that? You must then, because you're not looking at love for yourself and that outside of you in order to galvanize towards an outside. If you feel that you are in a state in your life where you can't get away with this, maybe you made a commitment Maybe you're locked into like a 30-year mortgage. To change how you feel that is to have the element that turns it from anger into rage. Focused and controlled rage. It's like Hulk. I'm always angry, right? But he's focused. He's controlled. Not necessarily has he always been that way. But with that much power, he respects that he has that much power. That might be a thing for some of you to watch. I'm getting the more recent one where the She-Hulk, like how he's teaching her, right? There has to be a physical outlet in this instance for sure. But definitely, if we're not dealing with actual combat, which will have a physical outlet, you're going to need something to physically change that energy, to get it out of your physical form. This is very fight or flight energy. Survival, really. And that act right there is an act of self-love, which turns it from anger into a rage. I'm focusing this anger where I choose to focus it. Love is a part of that. The softer emotion is a part of controlling what the anger burns and what it doesn't. On both ends of the spectrum, love is required to hone that anger into a focused outlet for that anger, one that is of your intention. Rage does not need to be only combat. Rage can be, I refuse to allow myself to continue snapping like this because I see the look in the eyes of those around me when I do. And I love myself enough to know that I'm not okay with that. And I love them enough to know that they're not enjoying this any more than I am, and I refuse to be this actor in their life. I refuse to play this role. So I am going to love myself. How do I do what needs to be done in order to not snap like this? You feel that there's that passion in it. It's not a negative thing. It's control. It's moving with intention. It's when it's the volcanic eruption that it's unhealthy because it hurts. It affects without discrimination, without focus. That's when it's unhealthy. So by owning the softer emotion, the love within it, you actually hone that anger and gain control over where it goes with intention. Love is the answer to bringing in control when it comes to anger. Love of self and love of others. Thank you very much. I'm incredibly grateful to each and every one of you. The divine within me honors the divine within you. Namaste.